Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.
Right, if you just joined us, it's still Enterprise Morning on Enterprise TV, and now to our main conversation for today. The presidential candidate of the Labour Party in last year's general election has called for a thorough investigation of the suspension of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation Minister Betta Edu to expose and punish everyone involved in the scandal. Peter Obi's voice is the latest in a series of appeals made since the scandal involving the suspended minister broke. Edu is being investigated following a leaked memo in which she allegedly ordered the payment of humanitarian funds to the tune of 585 million naira into a private bank account. Only 2 days ago, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, seized the passports belonging to Edu and her predecessor, Sadiya Umar-Farouk. In light of similar scandals unraveled in the ministry, Obi said it appears the ministry was established as a conduit to siphon public funds while using poverty alleviation as a cover. To do justice to this topic today is Barrister Tunji Abdul Hamid. He is an attorney and a public affairs analyst. Sir, you're welcome to Enterprise Morning today.
Thank you. Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Thank you for giving us your time. So let's jump into the crux of the matter here. This has been a recurrent issue in Nigeria for some time now, and it's becoming more like a series. You know, one part ends, another part begins, and all. But currently, the latest we have now is the seizure of the passports belonging to Betta and others. Do you think this in any way will serve as a deterrent for them in any way?
Yeah, I think that would be too early to say, because nothing has even been done yet. Nothing has been done. It's not even been arraigned before the court. They've not been taken to anywhere. We're not even sure whether or not they'll be arraigned, whether or not any charge will be provided against them. So it will be too early to say this will serve as a detriment, because the only thing we have seen now is that she's been suspended, and then they say we are told the investigation is still on. So we don't know the outcome of the investigation. Probably whether they will say she's not liable, she's not whatever, and then so until that investigation is concluded, until we see the step that will be taken by the government, that's when I can say whether or not that will serve as a detriment. The only thing that will serve as detriment here is to see any of them found guilty to be in jail. Not even to come out, asking them to come and pay the money. It's for them to be jailed. When you are jailed, because most rich men and women, they don't like, they value their freedom and to move. So when you are in prison and you cannot do anything for years, that will likely be a detriment to other people who will come and say, look, I don't want to go to jail. But because we know in our system, hardly you find any rich men or people in government or close to government or having an affiliate with those in government going to anywhere or being convicted. Even those that have been convicted, we were here when the former president granted them amnesty or whatever, the prerogative of mercy, and then they were released. That was a former governor of Plateau State, and which of them again? Is it Adamawa or so? I can't remember. 2 of them were given what's it called? The prerogative of mercy. In other words, they were sentenced by the court. And while their terms are running, while they are in custody, the president uses his power, and he said they should be released. And which means, as it is today now, they are not even seen as criminal, because if you have given, your crime has been wiped off. That is the meaning of what has been done. So, like I said, what I'm saying is, even if they are being sentenced to prison, that will not even be enough to serve as detriment. If they are allowed to serve their sentence in custody and they adhere to the end as prescribed by the court, then that I can say, well, unfortunately again, the penalty or punishment for this kind of an offense is just few imprisonments, probably 3, 4, 5, 6 years or 7. Not even be up to that.
But do they usually ask them to refund all the money they have?
No, they do ask them to also refund. But most times this is not even feasible. Sometimes somebody is alleged of siphoning billions of naira, for instance, and then they will say there's a play bargain, and then they will drop 100 million naira. What happened to the 900 million naira? In that regard, go and enjoy yourself with it, and then that will be the end. Some of them will also be asked to just bring the money back, and you will not hear anything about whether or not the money has been refunded. I'm aware of a senator or House of Rep member that was asked to refund all the allowances he collected while in office, because the court said the court nullified his membership of the National Assembly at that time, and then they was asked to refund all the allowances. I'm not sure whether anything has been refunded by him. So we are not doing the right thing. We are not doing the right punishment. We are not giving the right punishment in these countries, and it's not deterring the people. I tell you, the punishment for somebody who even and you see, one thing people don't know when it comes to court and punishment, they don't look at the figure. Sometimes it's not about the figure that will determine the kind of punishment. Though it has influence as well in the way. But what I'm saying is that if you are alleged of stealing 10,000 naira, and your punishment may be the same or even higher than somebody that was alleged to have stolen 1 trillion naira. Why? Because the punishment is not about the amount. There's no punishment that say if you steal this is your punishment. If you see that, what the law says is that, and like I said, it depends on the charges before the court. Okay. Because sometimes these people, these charges is from where you even know that they are not ready to do anything. They're just trying to placate us. If somebody stole, you see people at the Oshodi being accused of or alleged of stealing a phone. When they take him to court, you see them charging for armed robbery. Then you see a similar politician or somebody in public office steal millions of naira or billions of naira, and then they will take him to jail and charge him for stealing. Don't you think that the disparity in itself is corruption? Or they charge him for, that's what I'm saying, they're charging for misappropriation of fund. They will not, are you getting my point? There is no particular offense in our law known as corruption. Oh, okay. There is no particular offense in our law known as corruption. So you can either be charged for either misappropriation of fund, stealing, or breach of trust. Those are the things you can be charged for under that. There are so many other in that line, but they won't charge you for. There's no offense known as corruption, and they're not. Most times they don't charge them for armed robbery. There are similar people outside the government who commit similar offense by stealing 1,000 naira from somebody's pocket. Can be charged for. They will be charged sometimes by them for armed robbery. So my question is, the punishment for armed robbery is like armed robbery is like a capital offense. Yes. So and the stealing is just like a minor 2 years, 3 years or so of punishment so that's how, in a way, and it's not compulsory that the court must even give you the maximum imprisonment. It can give you 2 months, 3 months, 5 months, 6 months, or whatever. So when people blame the judges when they rule out their sentences, that is not enough, it's not them. It is a law, and it is the kind of charges that was before them. That's what the basis upon which they acted. So as far as I'm concerned, we need to do a lot when we want to, if we want to curb corruption in this country. If we want people to desist from stealing public money, we need to make people make examples. But we're not doing that. We are either covering them up. Years after now, some of them that I know people that have been convicted or that have been taken to court, dragged in the name of corruption or whatever. Some of them are still in government today. I know somebody that was our first young Speaker of the National Assembly, Sadiya Umar-Farouk. He was removed based on education qualification fraud. After some years after, he was made the chairman committee on chairman board of education committee or something like that. Somebody that was removed from office based on fraudulent or forgery or certificate forgery. You had now after some years, he was now made the chairman of those of that kind of situation. So what I'm saying is that we don't bring out the right punishment, apply the right punishment to people who have committed offense, and then we have to, in that regard, we need to change our law to reflect that, and those who are also the prosecutors need to do the right thing. Otherwise, nobody can be sentenced. As clear as this is what we're talking about is, if they are taken to court, they may not be able to convict them, because most times our investigating agencies don't do their job thoroughly. They don't do investigation. If I tell you, we all even know that, look, this Betta Gates was not because it was a fixed by the investigating agencies. Yeah. It was because of it was people outside the government that brought it out. So probably they may not even know anything. So in other words, they are those, and that's why I marvel when people start praising the president, say, or EFCC, that they are fighting. They are fighting
because they actually didn't start the process itself.
They can't start. No, they are fighting corruption. They are not. How do you know that they will not have covered this up with the people who are not open to the public? They are fighting. That's not their fighting corruption. That's their job. Their job is to, when somebody is alleged, to look at it. So if you are doing that, I should be praising you for that. I should be saying you are fighting. What corruption are they fighting? People are talking, the president, we should give it to him. He's now fighting corruption. Which corruption is he fighting? How many corrupt practices has he exposed? He has not exposed any. He's just the one that is being raised. And in this case that is being raised, if he didn't do anything, he will be dragging himself in the mud. Because as it is today, the credibility of the president is in question.
It's in question.
Yeah. In other words, the integrity, legitimacy, even the legitimacy, even the integrity of the president regarding corruption is in question. People still believe that the president is corrupt. Yeah. That only that he has not been convicted, so there's an allegation. So such a president want to do anything to clear himself up. So if he's suspending Betta Edu or is asking them to investigate, he has not done anything special for me to be saying or giving kudos to the president and saying yes, he has started well. And that is based upon what somebody says is turning to APC because the president seems to be fighting corruption. What corruption are they fighting that? So I think we need to do more if we want to get results.
Yes, and talking about the president not doing enough, because obviously corruption in Nigeria seems to be a network, it seems to be a cartel, and already there have been lots of indictments. The Minister of Interior, Ojo, is involved in it, even if he is denying the fact that the company that he owns with his wife, he ceases to be a signatory or director in the company, and therefore he is absolved of that. The Chief of Staff, Bajabiamila, who happens to be the referee for Betta Edu, when she was perused on the National Assembly, So do you think this disciplinary measure would cut across with what we are seeing already with Betta Edu and?
I think regarding the Chief of Staff, I'm not sure that being a referee makes you a culpable partner or make you a complicit in the whatever the person you referee did badly. The fact that he did commend or referee what's it called, Betta Edu, does not mean he was part of the system. I'm not sure. There is no evidence to show that he actually instructed her to do what she did.
What if in the future, just like we did see from Ojo, what if in the future it comes to happen that
until that is out. Until that is out. If that is not out to the public, we are not aware of that. We can't say it's still there. Nobody has mentioned his name to say he was part of the date. But Mr. Ojo is unfortunate that probably he took wrong steps. In fact, he was not well. Maybe probably was not well addressed, or maybe well advised, or maybe probably did not even seek for advice.
So how do you think he would have?
Before he was not well advised, or he went straight to the issue came up this evening, and the same evening he went to the television station and started something. And as well, again, he was even saying things that's not even correct. Ignorance. He was speaking in ignorance, with due respect. Because he was saying, yes, it's my company, I founded it 15 years ago, but I've resigned my directorship, this is the CAC document. For goodness sake. He maintained that he's also a shareholder. Probably Mr. Minister did not know that shareholders are even the owner of the company. Shareholders are even stronger than the directors.
Their influence is
so strong. That if you are a majority shareholder in the company, you influence everything that the director will do. You control them. You can even remove them or appoint them. And in this case, what company are we talking about? Company populated by a member of his family. Company that were being told his wife, his children, or whatever, or colleague, are the shareholders in those companies. So what are you telling me? That even you have removed yourself as a director. I even hear that his wife is also a director in the ministry.
Whoa.
So, and by law, both of them are not supposed to be doing other business. apart from farming. Once you are a public service servant, you are not supposed to engage into any other business apart from agriculture or farming. Family business. And this company is not a family company. It's unfortunate. Like I said, I want to align myself with His Excellency Peter Obi, the former presidential candidate of the Labour Party. Look, that I have always been within that position. That any policy of government that has to do with sharing of money is an avenue to steal money. It's an avenue to either give money to people in government, people close to the government, people who are within the corridor of power. That is an avenue to it. Are we right in this country to do that kind of a distribution? Where are the data? Where do we get the information? How do we verify this information, these beneficiaries? There's no way. So it's a way to even make it possible. And regarding Mr. Minister Ojo, I think there are a lot of things that is wrong in what has happened. Even though you may not see, there's a conflict of interest. One, two, we are not aware that whether or not due process were followed in this instance. We are not aware whether there was an advertisement as to that, whether there are other people who bidded for the job. How did they get the job? These are issues that need to be unraveled, and we need to know. As it is today, I was expecting that Mr. Ojo would have also been suspended. Because if Betta Edu can be suspended for allegation, or based on allegation, if there's an allegation against Mr. Ojo as well, complete allegation, and he's not denying it. But if the only thing he's saying, he's not denying, Mr. Ojo is not denying it. The only thing he's saying that he's a shareholder. Shareholder, you are the owner of the company. A shareholder is the owner of the company. So it does not mean you will not be running the day-to-day affairs of the company. Then if you are behind directing what is going on, you are still the owner. Shareholders are the one who control the affairs of the company. They determine who to be director, who not to be director. They determine what a contract to enter into. Although they have the director can on their own enter into a particular contract, they must be ratified by shareholders.
But if I might hold a brief for Mr. Ojo on this particular case, because he did say that it's not a question of whether his company got the contract or not, but the fact that the job was done. No. Now let's take a look at it from a very holistic is this a question, because a question of morality, should it be a question of the fact that his company got the job, or should we rather be concerned about the job that was given to the company, having it done and done well? So if the job is done and done well, does it still is it still harmful that it got through him? Is it still harmful in any way? I want us to look at it from
for me, it's a matter of legal and moral, both combined. Yeah, for me, legally, you're not supposed to allow your interest to conflict with your office job as a minister. If you have an interest in a particular company and that company is bidding for a contract on that from the government, and you'll be part of those that will take decision, or you are aware of it, you must disclose your interest. You must let them know that this is where it belongs. Like I said, in any event, it's not even proper for you to have to run a company. Yes, you cannot run a company, but if you have a shareholding in the company and then there's a need for it, you will disclose your interest. Yeah, you tell them, look, I am part of this transaction. It's my company. I'm a shareholder in the company. I am a major shareholder in that regard. So they will know. They will not. That means you will not be using your position to influence it. They already know. Okay. So, and then you'll be rescued if at all you will be part of those that will take decisions. Okay. So, you see, this mentality that we have in this country, because some people are also already giving that excuses, that this man is doing well. In as much as he's doing well, let's leave him. Has he done the job, or he did not do the job? Those are the questions people are, some of the justification some people are bringing. Yeah. Whether or not you have done the job, it's not the issue yet. You can do the job. You can even do it better than what was given to you. If the process of how the job was given to you was not proper, or the process on how, or certain things are not proper. Let me give a clear example. We were told Titan Bank, the board of directors of Titan Bank, Polaris Bank, I think Union Bank or so, have been suspended. Yes. They've been sacked.
Yeah, but actually,
why were they sacked? They said there is no transparency on how the banks were acquired. So they are not talking about whether the bank is doing its job or is not doing its job. It's not about whether directors have done something that is contrary to the law in terms of not doing their job. They are not saying they are not delivering. They are not saying that they are scared that the way these directors are operating, see how that money will go away. That was not the issue. The issue is that process not followed in line with the law. So no matter what you have done, no matter how good you have done the job, if the right thing is not done, that is not an excuse. It's like let me say, it's like, for example, a notorious armed robber, or not even know, somebody is engaging in armed robbery or kidnapping, and whatever he sees from that kidnapping, he has what's it called? This homeless, what do you call them? Those people don't have father and mother. What they call their houses again? The orphanage houses. Whatever he gets from it, he donates to those houses. He built churches, mosques, and you know that's what we like in this country. Exactly. Or he built companies, and he employs so many people who are working in that company. Meanwhile, this money is stealing the money. He's stealing the money. He has burgled the bank, he has burgled this and that, or he has kidnapped people and has collected money from them, and he's doing that. Should we say because since the money he got, he uses it judiciously, he's using it to help people, he's using it to do this and that, he should not be questioned. He should be allowed to be free, to do whatever he wants to do. So the fact that the job is being done is not the issue here. You know, people are not complaining about whether or not the job is done. Was there any were the proper processes followed in this instance? Are you supposed to be part of the company that got the contract? Those are the issues. While being a shareholder in the company, can you take contracts from the government? Those are the legal questions to be answered. And again, if you even look at the contract, you see, I'm aware. That's why I say I see those ministry as if in line with what the former president and they said. That it's an avenue to just sign funds. Because you see, people will be given 20K as to alleviate their poverty. Those that will give them that 20K are collecting 500 million naira for verification of the name. Just to verify the names, whether these are the true beneficiaries or not, they are collecting over 500 million. Not only that, they are spending billions, because not only his company that got contracts for that purpose, for that poverty alleviation, money distribution. There are other companies that are alleged that even an individual, the son of Lanesik, his name was also mentioned. He also collected over 400 million or 300 million. I can't remember the name. So there are about billions have been spent on paper documentation or verification, and people that will be beneficiary will only collect 20K, 20,000 naira, and they are using $1 million naira to process that. They were being told also that attempts were being made to go and do something in Kogi by this ministry too. We are being told 72 million were marked for that. They want to go and share 20,000 naira. The entire money they want to go and share may not be able to 72 million naira in that state. But those who are going to share it will be spending 72 naira. To what again? They will be flying to a Kogi state that has no airport. So these are the issues. So our system allows for all this. Our system allows. There is no need for that ministry. This system, this idea of sharing money to people cannot take take us anywhere. But it cannot take us anywhere because there's no way anybody can be alleviated from poverty by 20,000 naira. At once, you make that person eat for a day or two. If that person is as bad as that, for a day or at most, no matter if that person is so much prudent that he can even squeeze himself, maybe a week. So how can that alleviate poverty? So with that kind of money, and if you look at the entire budget for that, it can be used to create factory, companies, or things that people who can be engaged, and they will be for their life, the rest of their life, they will be making money from it. That would be better than sharing money. Do long-term projects that will give people confidence that look, in the future, my life can be better here. Then you will give me $20 today. Within 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, or 1 day, it's over. You go back to square one. But
if we look at the antecedents of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, especially with his handwork in Lagos State, ordinarily Lagos State should be competing with other big, states around the world, Johannesburg, Casablanca, and so on and so forth. But if you take a look at infrastructural development in Lagos State, compare them to other cities around the world that are equal to Lagos State, you see that Lagos State is below par, and that is as a result of this sort of trying to find a better way to market issues so it can appeal to the people. And I think it is taking center stage in Nigeria as a bigger country. So do you think, if we are to nip this problem in the bud, it's important that the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu should be aware that this way of going about governance is not the right way. How do you think we can, better communicate this message, such that leadership would understand that this is not, okay, and it's not effective?
Yeah, I agree with you that this is not the best way of governance. This is not the way to develop a country. This is not the way to grow a country. This is not the even way to grow a state. But unfortunately, those who are closer to the president, those who are benefiting from the government or from the Mr. President's benevolence or Mr. President's being in power, will tell you otherwise. They are more concerned about the fact they see him more. I get irritated when I see people saluting or praising the president for being able to make sure that if he's in government and he makes sure he knows how to conquer everybody, exactly, everybody to round table. That can't come in. It's the one that's giving us that development, or it's the one that's giving us that growth. I'll be happy.
Exactly.
But it's not giving us what the president is there to do. The president is not about. I can see. I was from the Lagos State and to where the president is now. What the government what the president know how to do is to play politics. He does not know how to govern. It's not about governance. From what the president is doing, it's just to capture the state. I am in charge. I am the president. I control everything. That's what I see him doing. Because I don't see him. From appointment and everything, it's me about politics. And that is about 2027. Even during campaign, when the president was campaigning for the 2023 election, he already started 2027. I remember in Enugu or one state, I can't remember. He said it. Just vote for me. If I didn't do all these things that I said I would do, don't vote for me in 2027. So he started early, even before he was elected as the president. So it's always about being in power. And people who are closer to him, who are benefiting from it, are praising him for that. They will say he knows the game. He knows how to buy the politician. Is that giving us development? Is that giving us development? If that's giving us development, I won't be worried. Yeah, it's not giving us. It's just trying to make people. You can see the former spokesperson for former president, presidential candidate, PDP presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar. He has just decamped. He has not officially decamped. He has indirectly returned back to APC. Where I imagine what he will be saying from tomorrow or for whatever. Exactly. Because I know what he said about the president. What will he be saying about his credential of the president now? What will he be saying about the president that has called a corrupt president? What will he be saying about his post that said this president, if you give him 20 years, he won't achieve anything? Exactly. What has he now seen now? Although he has said the president is fighting corruption and he has seen him and he wants to join him to do that. Some of them are jobbers. They just want to get where the bread with butter is what they like. That's what they do. They don't have any other business. Some of them they claim to have businesses. Like Wala, he claimed to be a lawyer. I don't know how well he has been practicing. He just about over 10 years at the bar, and I'm not sure whether he's even stable in Nigeria to even practice. He has been going up and down. So for me, some of them don't have anything to fall back on, and they see this being in politics as a way of sustaining their own life and be relevant. So that's what we are seeing today, and that's why you see that the president knows that out of the game. So he can buy. Our president is not like that dollar and guru of sport. They know how to buy the best players, and they will be winning trophy, and people will say they are the best coach. So that's what the president is doing. He knows how to buy people to get into. But buying up those people, are they giving us development? No. Is it giving us any growth? Not yet. So for me, I think if we want to go away from this corruption, the president needs to be on top of his game. Even the investigation police officers, the Efcc and other security agencies need to be, they don't have to wait for people to expose corruption for them to, they can also dig it out.
Dig it out themselves.
They are aware of it, this Addis Addis problem. Nobody's looking into it until president says, or somebody bring out and that's when the security agency will now wake up and say, we're investigating it. No, that's not how to operate. You can't get a result in that manner. I think we need to do well if we want to get it better. The Edu gate and whatever, I won't be surprised if after 2 weeks again, we forget this and move on.
Well, just like Barrister Tunji did say, I think it's important that those in authority understand that there is a very big difference between playing politics and developing our nation for a better country. And we hope that our leaders would understand and would realize that development is more important than politicking. I think that is the best we can have in this country if we desire to have a great Nigeria. I'd love to say a big thank you to Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid for being part of our show today. Thank you so very much, sir, for the incisive discussion today.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure to be here.
Thank you so very much. And to you watching wherever you are watching from, we'd love to say thank you so very much also for being part of our show. But please do remember to visit our website www.enterprisetvnews.com. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. Subscribe to our YouTube channel also at Enterprise TV7. I'll see you tomorrow for yet another awesome discussion. I'm Henry Ikubike. Cheers.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.